Hi, Lisa Marie here. And last night at the support group that I go to, we actually got to meet with Dr. Ali, one of the surgeons, did kind of a Q&A. Oh my gosh, I took 4 pages of notes. Oh, I learned so much, like so much. And one of the topics that came up that really kind of struck a chord with me, I thought I would share with you, and that was the fear of actually eating after having weight loss surgery. And it's a valid fear. It's real and it's valid. For me, I think I was just so afraid to fail again at something that seemed like the answer. Not that I was expecting a cure-all or an immediate fix or anything like that, but I really thought this is my last chance to doing something right for me, for my body, for my health. I'd prayed so much about it. And I really felt kind of the blessing of God, the confirmation to go through with this. And I didn't want to disappoint again. So it's a real fear. It's a real fear within the first couple of days to go, holy cow, what have I done? And now I can't undo it. And what was I thinking? And all of that. It's also very common. It's very common after surgery to be able to drink and sip what you think is more liquids than you've been told, that others can only sip, this much at a time, and you're able to sip this much at a time. Everybody's body's different. Everybody's body swells and constricts at different times in the healing. So don't worry about that, because you really need to stay hydrated at first. Like, you really need to. And then the fear, he explained that the fear comes based on several things. One of them is based on our past experience and our past reality. Hello, how many diets have we done? Gone up and down, and then gone up. A ton. So it's a valid fear. Then the other one is our hormones. Our hormones go absolutely haywire and wonky afterwards because our fat cells store hormones. And as we start losing weight, those hormones, kind of got to go somewhere. So they get all crazy and out there. And I think one of the things he said is, if you're following the instructions of your surgeon and you're focusing on hydration and focusing on protein, then you focus on vegetables, and then you kind of do carbs. Our old way of thinking and our old habits, our body, we used, he said, we used carbs as fuel, and fat was the reserves of that fuel. So when we're cutting all of that down, that's what kind of can lead to our emotions going like this, because we're putting our whole body on a different path than it's been for so long. So I remember feeling that. I remember feeling so afraid to eat for a lot of things, that I was going to bust a stitch. I was going to leak out my stomach, out the incisions, that I was going to rush the healing, all these different things. And if I can just share anything, if you follow the plan of what they said, because everybody's different. Some doctors say you need to be on the clear liquids for 2 to 3 weeks after surgery, some for 2 days, and then your full liquids, and then your purees or your mushies, and then your soft foods, things like that. Just add one thing in at a time. I mean, the fear, I just want you to know the fear is real and the fear is valid, but you do need to eat real foods and not just get your nutrition from protein shakes, because that's not real life. That's not sustaining for long periods of time. I mean, yeah, you can kind of get used to it and your body, you know, will adjust, but that's not living to me. That's not living. So he said, if you pay attention to what you eat and you kind of stick in those parameters, which is finally what I did. And I did what I call the 3-2-1. 3 bites of protein, 2 bites of vegetables, 1 bite of a carb. And I still use my hand as a guide. I weigh and measure everything, and when I can't, I use my hand. So I use this as all vegetables, unless it's something like a sturdy vegetable, like what do you call those, squash and zucchini and things like that. Then I kind of use this because I kind of mound it, and that's the thing. But really, if you kind of laid it flat, it would be the same as your whole hand. Then this can be your proteins. My body doesn't do that well with it, so half of it is my proteins. And then pretty much this, see how I fold this over, and this right here, that's my carbs. But look, so half my hand is protein, half my hand is the carbs, and all of my hand is my vegetables. That's what works for me. He said, watch your fruits because they're full of carbs and sugars that are natural, and to focus on protein and vegetables. And if you do that, there isn't really a need to be afraid to eat real foods. And I just wanted to encourage you that it's real. It's real, it's stinking real, and it's hard to kick. It's hard to kick that bully and those old thoughts that we're gonna fail and we're gonna eat too much and we're gonna stretch it out and we're gonna do this stuff. If you keep your portions down and you focus on the right healthy foods, you're going to be successful. You are. It's just how our bodies are made. It's going to be. So I didn't want to be too long. Timer went up. I just thought I would share that with you, and I'm going to read over my notes and share a ton more of stuff because he was awesome. And look, I can go backwards and see what your comments were. Hey, glad you brought this up. Yeah, I was so scared. I was so scared to eat. I really was. But he said something last night, and if you give in to the fear too much, then we can actually develop a different eating, what do you call it? Problem, and that's not the word he used. Anorexia or even bulimia. And a lot of us already had that anyway. So, maybe get counseling. That was the other thing. You know, seek a therapist, get counseling, because eating is healthy if you choose. And there just went my other timer that I got to go back into the office. So have a great day. Please, please, please know you're not alone if you're afraid. If you're afraid of anything in this process, hello, I've been there. A lot of us have. So you do get over it. It does go past. It does pop up from now and then, but it's a valid fear and it is real. And you know what? Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you're afraid. Do some research. See what the truth is. Allow on God to bring you what truth is. And the truth is, if we eat what God made and not what people made, we can't go too wrong. We really can't, unless you only eat carbs. Which, well, you can't do that. It doesn't feel good. So, have a great rest of the day. I will talk to you later. Bye.